welcome to Roxform and congratulations on your purchase of the Stride S Plus bike, which will come to you in a box just like this. Now we've compacted the size of the box to endeavour to have less impact on the environment so we can ship more in a container. So as a result of that, there's a few simple jobs that you need to do when you take it out of the box before you can ride it. So we'll go through what you need to do to assemble the bike. You're going to need a few basic tools. You're going to need a set of cutters to open up and take the packaging off. You're going to need a multi-Allen key with screwdrivers on. Pretty straightforward item you can buy at your local bike shop if you don't already have one. A 15mm spanner. This is a workshop pedal wrench, but as long as it's 15mm, and that's just for putting your pedals on and tightening them up. And of course, when it's fully built, you'll need a pump. Again, it doesn't need to be as hardcore as that one. A normal hand pump will do. So to start with, we're going to cut the straps off the box. The bike inside is going to be, as you know, around about the 22 kilos mark. So take a little bit of care when you're lifting it out. If you need the help of someone else to do so, just make sure safety comes first. Now, I've got a wheel stand here because we're filming this in a studio. You can quite easily lean the bike up against the kitchen table, but don't damage the paint on your walls. So I've just inserted the back wheel like so that we can see where we're at. So firstly, I'm just going to go around and cut off the packaging so we can get access to what's inside. Usually a good job to put it all back in the original box, and be sure to recycle anything that you can in the process. If you push the seat just down into the seat tube like so, you can see there's a quick release lever which you then tighten up when you've chosen the correct height. For now, we'll just put it in where it is so that we can get the bike built. So this is the spare parts box, which has got some of the goodies that you're going to need to complete the build. That's the charger for the bike there in the box. We've got a luggage elastic which we'll put on the rear rack when we're there. Instruction manual, always important to give that a read as well. We've got pedals, we've got a bell, and most importantly we've got our front wheel quick release skewer, which is what's going to hold the front wheel in place. The front wheel comes packaged with the mud guard over it, so we can take that for the minute and put that over there. First job is to get the wheel in place on the bike. So you can see we have a disc rotor here, which corresponds to where the disc caliper is on the left side of the fork. So lifting the front of the bike here, we can just remove this little red protective tab in between the brake pads, like so. Then we're going to place the wheel with the rotor on the correct side, pass that up into position in the fork, like so. So you can see that the hollow of the spindle sits either side and the disc rotor is sitting inside the caliper that we saw earlier. Then taking the nut and the spring off the non-lever end of the skewer, we're going to push that all the way through, put the spring back on the other side, and then the retaining nut. Tighten that up a few turns by hand, and you'll feel the lever here getting tighter as you close it. So when you get to the stage where it's a bit of hard work to shut the lever down, so there, just a bit of force needed to close it, and that's the front wheel installed. So next up, we're going to get the handlebars in position. This is where your Allen key tool is going to come in handy. You've got 4mm bolts which hold the bars in place, and there's 4 of them on the front face here of the stem. So we need to loosen those all off. Once all 4 are loose to the point of being finger tight, you're just going to want to remove or get them to the very end of the thread, because the whole front of the stem will need to come off for the handlebars to be inserted. It can be a bit fiddly, but if you can, try and lift the face of the stem off with all the bolts in position, because it just saves you a bit of time when you're putting the bars on. So we take it off like that. Then I'm going to grab the handlebars. So it's fairly obvious the positioning of the handlebars, but just to be absolutely certain, you'll note the brake levers left and right, and the gear shifter on the right hand side. Screen facing the rider, so that should all make sense. So the bars sit snugly in the stem like so, and then we need to get the face of the stem back in place. So once you've located all the bolts and the threads are in place, you can feel them tightening up and you can see them recessing into the stem. And you want to tighten those up evenly across all four. Once they get to feel slightly tight, you can work them diagonally, and you're looking for around 5 Newton meters of torque, which sounds really technical, but basically with one of these tools, it's about as tight as you can do them, and then you're going to be safe and sound. Next up, we're going to fit the front mudguard, which shares a mounting point with the front headlamp, which is not fitted to the bike for the purposes of packaging. So normally the easiest way I find is to lay the mudguard on top of the tyre this way round, so the stays at the bottom, and then the tab here to the back of the front of the suspension fork crown. So the first step is to remove the mounting bolt, which is located in the front fork. For this, you're going to need a 10mm spanner, or you can use a small adjustable or flat multi-spanner. Again, something that most people have got in the drawer somewhere or available from a bicycle shop or hardware store. So we're going to loosen off the bolt and remove the nut from the back of it, like so. Then we're going to take the headlamp, and then this is the bracket at the base here. We're going to put the bolt directly through there, back through the frame, and then mount the mudguard tab on the back of the bolt, and then put the nut on the back of that. Then we need to position it correctly so that the mudguard is going to clear the tyre. Okay, so we'll do the bolt up nice and tight again, so we don't have the mudguard flapping around. Then we need to attach the mudguard at the lower stays, which you can see just here on the side. There's a small nut and bolt either side, which locate and go through these two black plastic mountings. So firstly, remove the small Allen key bolt. Then put the bolt through the mudguard, then through that mounting in the fork, and then the nut goes back on the other side. You can tighten it up initially finger tight like so. Before you tighten it up fully, come around to the other side, put the bolt and washer through, and then the nut back on the other side. Okay, and that's our mudguard installed. So, 3 more jobs to do. You've got your bungee elastic cord, which has hooks on the ends. Remove the plastic packaging, and then you're going to hook it into the void on the rack. And then you've got your bungee elastic for carrying bits and pieces when you're cycling. So next up are your pedals, which we're going to fit now. They have opposite threads and they're specific to the side of the bike they go on. They both tighten towards the front of the bike as if you were riding on it. So I'm going to take this pedal here, which is marked R for right, and then I'm going to carefully wind that into the thread in the crank. So this is a regular thread, that's to say it tightens up clockwise, righty-tighty. You take your 15mm spanner, or in this case pedal wrench, and just give it a last tension like that. It's important they're in nice and tight. The left pedal marked L with a green sticker on it is obviously for the left-hand side, but this is the one which has the opposite thread. So you can see it's tightening, but going anti-clockwise. So to make it simple, both of the pedals tighten towards the front of the bike. So the right one's a normal thread, the left one's an opposite thread. Just be careful to get that the right way round, otherwise you can damage the crank. Finally, you're going to fit your bell so that other people can hear you coming along the cycle path. So you're going to use the crosshead screwdriver on your multi-tool, loosen off the mounting nut, which you're then going to take the screw out, pop that onto the handlebar like so. And your final job is to pump the tyres up just to check they're at the right pressure. So your tyres, these have come out of the box inflated, ready to go. But if you haven't got a gauge on your pump, if you give them a good squeeze like that, you're looking for a 2 or 3 millimeters of movement. Or alternatively, if you have got a gauge, you're looking for between 40 and 50 PSI to make it safe and easy rolling when you ride. So attached at the front of the bike, you've got 2 keys. These are for locking your battery onto the bike and removing it securely. So if we just remove those from there. So we've got the keys here. As you'll see on there, they're coded. Keep one somewhere safe at home. They can be ordered for replacement with ID, but you want to save that expense and keep one somewhere safe at home. So to remove the battery, at the top of the battery on the right side, you've got your lock in the frame. Put the key in position, turn it clockwise until you see the battery start to hop out, remove, and you're clear. So on the side of the battery is where the charger fits in, and that's where you're going to charge it on the mains, either off the bike or it can be done on the bike as well. To put the battery back on, you're going to locate it in the bottom first like so, allow it to sit down as far as it will go, and then give it a nice little firm push and you'll hear that click. That means it's positively in place and connected. Then you're going to turn the key anti-clockwise and it's locked and secured on your bike, so only you can get to it. So there you have it. Congratulations, you've built your Roxform Stride S Plus and you're ready to ride.